everybody, and welcome back to the Broadway Jets YouTube channel. You'll know me from Twitter as NYJ Mike. I'm joined as always by the master of receipts, NYJ Matt. And Matt, we are live from my lovely Uber ride as I have to go to my company holiday party. But yet another hit piece from Miss Diana Rossini was sent out about Woody Johnson and the Jets today, so we have no choice but to do an emergency podcast.
Well, you kill the intro while being in an Uber. I'm coming through your headphones. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I hear you. You hear me like through the car?
No, you sound good, but it'd be very funny if mid-conversation the Uber driver, as a Jet fan, and turns around he's like, Diana Rossini sucks.
Yeah, I hope.
Okay. Hey, a lot to get to, right? We're going to preface this by saying multiple things can be true at once.
Right.
Woody Johnson can be a bad, incompetent owner. I hear the candy wrapper through the phone.
I was eating a mint.
Woody Johnson can be a bad
meddling,
owner.
Matt.
He can be a bad owner.
Yeah.
Meddling. It can be bad. And we can call it out. And we can also call out that these hit pieces, these articles dropping, are they half-truths? Are they really true? It's a weird spot to be in. Mike, where do you want to begin?
We got to decipher it, man. As people reading the media, reading news, you got to take things with a grain of salt. I do. The issue is there's definitely some truth to at least some, or if not all of this, for sure. But like, in what context? Did Woody Johnson's kid? Woody's like, "Hey kids, we're thinking about trading for Jerry Jeudy." They're like, "He sucks in Madden," and he's like, "Don't do it." But like, look at the John Simpson thing. John Simpson, they said they didn't like his awareness rating on Madden, but they still signed him. So what is where does the line drawn? You know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah, and I think the part that I end up getting frustrated on is I hate when the Jets are a laughingstock, and year in and year out they make themselves and they own the fact that they are one. But there's some things that come in this report where I just don't buy it. Now, did he make an offhand joke about his Madden rating, Jerry Jeudy? Brian Costello, not a friend of the program, basically came out and said, look, did he probably make a comment about his Madden rating as a joke? Yeah, but that doesn't stop the trade from happening. But that headline of Woody Johnson didn't trade for Jerry Jeudy because of his Madden rating is now every aggregator account, every blue check mark is talking about it.
I got 40 text messages today about it, and it's frustrating because no one has the backstory to be able unless you're a serious Jet fan that is following everything. You don't have the information at hand to be like, no, it's not true. And what I just said is the other side of the page. I don't even know if that's the phrase or saying, where they did sign John Simpson. So what is the reality here?
Well, the funny part is that Mike, historically, if there's like a backup lineman signed, he does go to the Madden rating. And I actually I searched your name on Twitter at 7 a.m., typed in Madden rating. I was trying to find where you tweeted it. I think I spelled it wrong because you found the tweet from John Simpson when you looked at his Madden rating. So insane. Funny. But the other thing,
they're definitely reading our tweets, which is actually hilarious. That was the thing where, again, this report, where Diana put out a report earlier in the season, and I made the joke that it's like when Harry Potter made Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. It's like she just spaced out her reporting so she didn't have to do anything else the whole entire season. Like, this is the same report she put out a couple months ago, just with a few more details. And Matt, you astutely pointed out that the details of the Aaron Rodgers benching changed also.
Yeah, the most problematic is that it first was his performance, which we were like, they're 2-2, why would you bench him? Then a week later on her podcast said it was her health. Now the third part is the Jets spokesman saying it was a joke, and they reported that as well. So it's like, did you not have that piece on the first article? Did you leave that out? So that is concerning. And the other thing, like, if there's a yearly award for the person that has an axe to grind, that has grinded that axe the most, Diana Rossini would win, hands down. She's a national reporter. She's a hammer in search of a nail. And look, I don't know if I was in her spot, if I hated the Jets or there was a reason to hate them, I would go that hard. But you're right. She's a national reporter. You have to be unbiased. And again, everything we're saying Woody Johnson can still be a bad owner. He probably shouldn't even talk
Yes.
about Madden ratings. He has a part in his article that it is confirmed true that he told Mike White that he fucking sucked after the Seattle game. Mike
Listen,
White
Mike might play with
playing
like
on
6 broken ribs.
yeah,
Trying to
like
make the Jets go to the playoffs.
that part bothered me because Mike White played with broken ribs and he tried and it didn't work out. And also, if you gave Mike White a shot earlier in that year, who knows where the season goes, whatever it might be. But I just keep looking at this article like ripping down the all gas, no brake signs, not hiring practice officials. Woody's sons and wife are walking through the locker room, shit talking players. Like Banana Land. And all these, like, yeah, Brick Johnson might have, like, whispered, yeah, Ashton Davis dropped another pick today. And, like, that one comment, does that just become they all just disparage the players? It's a weird line to find out what is actually true here. I want to get to the bottom of it.
Well, that's what it is. Because of the reasons that we keep saying, where it's like she changes the story about the Broncos game benching Rodgers. She reports that the Jets are not, that Woody Johnson doesn't like John Simpson's awareness rating on Madden, but then they still sign him. Like the other one, the Tanzania Times, it's a Jets publication that's like a legitimate thing. Like, I don't agree with everything they say. I literally been fighting with the people in Jets X Factor the last few weeks. It's a Jets publication. Why can't he read that? I don't understand it. And I understand he's making decisions solely based on these things. And, you know, you have people working for you and you have scouts that are there day and night and yada, yada, yada. But is that really the case, Matt? And that's what we've been talking about. And I don't know. Like, is Woody meddling? Yes. Did Woody meddle and get Devontae Adams and Tyron Smith and Hassan Reddick? Yes. Do I care about that? No. Should he meddle in general? No. Like, there's all these different factors, but like you said, I don't know what the real truth of most of these things are, and I tend to believe one because of the LOL Jets mantra that goes around sports, which is the reason we started these accounts, that the benefit of the doubt will never be given to the Jets, and people will just like to slander. And two, based on her track record being anti-Jets and writing she's a national reporter writing 1,000 articles. It's her, dude. Like, I tend to believe the opposite in most of these cases, where the public is going to run with it and laugh and make jokes, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, and then obviously there's a piece of it. Zach Rosenblatt and Mike Silver are also writing the article. Zach Rosenblatt, who has been on the show before, who has written a full article getting page views about the Mike Williams sandwich gate. I don't think he's very happy right now that I'm like, hey, why is the story changing? Immediately unfollowed me on Twitter. I have to find out.
So lame, dude. So lame, and we actually have to press them on it because no one's going to press anybody on anything, especially the media. The media is never accountable. So why are they allowed to put out a story with these explosive headlines, incendiary headlines that are going to get traction, that are going to say just, oh my God, LOL, Woody Johnson wanted to bench Aaron Rodgers. You have to answer for that if you wrote the story and you changed the story 3 times.
Yeah, and it does impact the future of the Jets. Like that article, I know it sounds crazy and I could be dead wrong, but that article coming out, that has a direct impact. The previous one and this one on maybe Rodgers returning, a GM coming in here, a head coach coming in here, a player requesting a trade, a free agent target not coming here. Like this article does have ramifications for this. And if it's true, they have every right to put it out. If it's partly true and it was like a joke about, now you're just getting into the territory of putting out a cheap headline to really ruin a franchise. And you're not ruining a franchise, you're ruining a fan base who's dying to get back to the playoffs. So it's a bit scary, man. I don't love where we're at right now.
Man,
it's not fun.
It's literal slander. Unless Woody Johnson was like, we are benching Aaron Rodgers for the remainder of the season, then what they reported is, and that's not what happened for sure, because it doesn't make any sense, then they're wrong and they lied. And they're using lies to drum up hysteria. And it's like throwing a match. They are using lies to drum up hysteria. Still?
Oh, I think you're back. I think you're cutting out a little bit. We've been getting you though.
What about now?
Live from an Uber, going to a Christmas party. Yeah. Did you pregame before the party?
I was going to, but I actually had to do some extra work. So no, I'm gonna have to catch up once I get there, doing a little karaoke. But Matt, they are using lies to drum up hysteria.
Well, that's where we might.
They're
I actually
throwing a
think
match into a barrel of oil.
I would argue that a
It's
lot of the
insane.
things in the article probably occurred. But Joe Douglas now, who is pissed that he was fired, who is pissed that the all-time quote of reporting to I report to a teenager, like that meme is going to be used for a lot of things down the road. But Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh, for every day, they always said Woody Johnson's the best owner. He does everything for us. He's perfect. They said it. And then in 2024, those quotes started, falling off, and that's where Woody began meddling. But yeah, man, you had 5 years and you didn't get it done. And on your 6th year, he meddled. I get it. It's not fun. Nobody wants to not be able to do their job with their boss over their shoulder. But Mike, I just get very.
Brick Johnson was signing friggin'. Matt, you think Brick Johnson signed Brashawn Perryman in 2020? Like, give me a break, dude. Like, it's insane, and it's insightful. They're trying to rile people up. It's like if two people broke up and you asked the ex-boyfriend for the quote right after he got dumped. What is he going to say? It was the best ever? No, he's going to be she's an asshole. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know where like Woody Johnson, do you put out a statement? Like you have a year-end press conference where you get asked questions at the owner meeting. Do you talk there? It's very bizarre. And I don't know I don't know where we go from here. It's been a very fun day on Jets Twitter with all the memes, and we've been crazy. I found the photo of Woody pointing with Brick next to him.
I saw it.
And it's like him over there. What's his toughness rating? And then the Brick Johnson stuff. I love how the article is about how their kids are a part of the day-to-day. And I get it. If they have influence, that's a problem. But then Diana on Dan Le Batard today was like, oh, it's very common that the owners have their kids in like meetings, and owners can have their kids in the draft room. It's cool for them. And then the game ball thing, interesting quote. So Garrett Wilson makes a crazy catch on Halloween. Supposedly, Brick stepped in front of the old Brick game ball and was like, I'm going to give it to Garrett Wilson, his favorite player. And players were rubbed the wrong way. Like, is that worthy of an article? Like, is it truly worthy of an article for an 18-year-old kid to give a game ball?
A hit piece about the whole team? It really seems overblown. I really does. Like, the main thing here for me is, like, is Woody Johnson meddling with the team? And the answer is yes. To what capacity? And you just touched upon it. Joe Douglas had 6 years, and in the 6th year, Woody's like, you know what? I want to go all in, and just did it. Is that the right way to operate a team? Probably not. Is it like if the Jets were 8-6 right now, or 9-5, and everything worked out great? This wouldn't be happening. So it's just frustrating to me. I hate the wishy-washy nature of all this stuff, especially in football, which we always talk about, where things change by inches here, an inch there, a point here, this there, and it's like, oh, now we have to have the most dysfunctional organization of all time because we didn't have the most successful season. Like, no, it bothers me to no end. And you're right, Matt. It's going to have ramifications for the Jets. People are going to read this article, be like, do I want to come coach here? Do I want to come play here? Is it really that bad? I bet it's not.
Yeah, I'm with you. The only thing that really rubbed me the wrong way is the Mike White.
I really bet it's not.
The Mike White thing is only
sucks when he's dying out there trying to play football for you. When his 6 broken ribs, don't tell him he sucks. 100%.
He apologized allegedly.
All right, so then what's the big deal? What is the big deal with all this stuff? His kid likes Madden. What are we talking about? Unless they really what do they really do in the off season? We all love the off season anyway, though. Like, I just don't know what the issue is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why do there to be 2 national articles from non-Jets beat writers about the same thing in the same year?
Mike, there's going to be a third. There's a trilogy here. There's going to be a trilogy because when the year ends and all these players now leave the facility, loose lips will come forward and they will tell more stories of what happened, and it will be an ongoing thing throughout the end of the winter. And yeah, like you got to figure out what you're doing at quarterback, head coach, GM. And if I'm Woody, I probably go into these GM interviews and I'm like, hey, look at what Joe Douglas talked about me for 5 years of how I was a great owner. I didn't meddle. I did everything right. He loved working for me. And then, hey guys, guess what? Year 5, if you guys are still here year 5, you made the playoffs, we all know that's a problem. Year 6, I said, oh, let's get all these guys, and it didn't work out because our coaching staff was terrible and
Right.
players didn't play well enough. Mike, I keep saying it. I don't know. Like, there's another article probably coming. I don't know what we do.
It's the dumbest shit ever. We just have to fight back against it because most people are going to just read the first headline and laugh at it. We're getting a bunch of texts, and we have to defend what we believe. And people keep saying to me also, listen, there's no reason for us to love Woody Johnson. The Jets have obviously not had a lot of success. We're not Woody apologists. I just like to call it how it is, and I think it goes too far one way. You want to blame the owner, blame the owner, blame the owner. Listen, we've talked about it ad nauseum. 1998 to 2010, the Jets made the playoffs 7 times. They had 9 winning seasons in those years, or 10 winning seasons. 2011 to 2014, you still have Rex, and it was still part of that era, and it didn't work out. 2015, you hired Todd Bowles, you go 10-6, and Todd Bowles is a respected head coach in the league. Didn't work out. Then you draft Sam. Woody goes to London. Christopher Johnson hired Adam Gase, which is a disaster. Comes back. Woody comes back. You get the number 1 head coach in the cycle, which is Robert Saleh. They get Joe Douglas, who we all liked. And then, you drafted another quarterback. And then you had this era where you try to win with Hall of Fame quarterback and Rodgers and all these young pieces. Like, what? Like, it's not like they didn't do things. It's not like they didn't try. It's not like it was a complete disaster the whole time. It just hasn't worked out. And sometimes that's life. And if everyone wants to blame the owner and make these ridiculous articles, go for it. But I don't think that with different ownership, it would have been completely different.
Yeah, I think the one thing is just the only job of the owner, though. The one thing you can control is hiring the right GM and hiring the right coach. And then the Idzik, Maccagnan, Douglas, from late Rex to Bowles to Gase to Saleh, like, they didn't hire the right guys to make the right football calls. And
100%. But that's
you're
hindsight, Matt. Like, at the time, other like Idzik we hated. Maccagnan was executive of the year one year, but Maccagnan was not good. But
no, Mike, I'm not saying
Joe Douglas was well regarded.
I'm not saying he's like the. It would be unfair for us to say we always knew that 2024 and 2023 wasn't the right move, and he was wrong. We are performance based though, and unfortunately, they did hire the wrong GM and head coach, and I won't kill him for it. But in the years that preceded it, it was also the wrong GM and wrong coach. So that's where it's like you're on the longest playoff drought. We all know the story in all of sports,
I know, but
whatever.
I'm just trying to break down what actually happened. Like, and of course it didn't work out. But like Todd Bowles having success in Tampa Bay, we didn't really love Todd Bowles as the coach here, but he was he was technically a good hire. Like Robert Saleh was probably the number 1 coaching candidate of that cycle. Joe Douglas looked like it was going to be a good thing. Didn't work out. So, like, after the fact, you're going to go back, slam the owner, fine. But make it look like this crazy circus. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's overblown. It feels like the Jets' facilities are gorgeous, and the way that they present their games are very well, and the social media looks nice, and these documentaries, and it doesn't seem like it's just crazy circus. But maybe we're not there, so.
But
maybe it
my
is.
argument is that if they really wanted to take a deep dive into the Jaguars since 2019, and they were like, we're going to do a full assault on the Jaguars franchise. You can take the Urban Meyer kicking the kicker, which is insane. But you could take that, and then you could go to every person. Well, one time, Tony Khan wanted to bring an AEW wrestler into the war room and do a fake fight. Like, you could, like, start picking up every little thing that they did out of context and write a million articles on it. But why not to the Jaguars? Why only to the Jets? Is it because your quarterback has a weird, like, immunized and documentaries and does ayahuasca? You hate him for it. You're the owner, went to be the ambassador to Trump. Do you hate him for it? And is that why? Why is it this team and not every other team? I don't know.
Maybe you get the cheap LOL Jets laughs, like my stupid buddies who don't follow the Jets texting me the article. So they're taking advantage of little things here and there, and they're making it into a big thing. I think. I really, truly do.
I will predict this, Mike. I will predict this, and it very well could happen, and it's going to be even worse visually for the Jets, optically. There is a a real clear path where they find a way. And Diana Rossini just retweeted EA Madden, who tweeted retweet if you would trade for Jerry Jeudy. So that's that.
She's such a witch, dude. She's a witch.
I do think though
I
that
hope
there is a
I
path.
hope she just has so many inconveniences in life.
I think there's a path that Woody Johnson makes an argument, or the PR team, about Zach Rosenblatt and his reporting of a 16-year and 18-year-old guy and said we don't want him in the facility, and they're gonna find something that he did. Like Zach Rosenblatt DM'd the Discord. He's a cool guy in the Discord, and he DMs, "Hey, Rick Johnson's a nepo baby. Like, hey, dude, if you're gonna put that in Discord, be ready because if they pull his credentials and they say we want someone else from the Athletic in here, that story will blow up as like not freedom of the press. They're silencing reporters like they did to Manish years ago. Like that very well could be an outcome here. Because how can Zach Rosenblatt be walking around Florham Park for the next 2 years with all these stories coming out, calling the owner's kid a nepo baby in a Discord? Like that's not a good look, brother. Like you're a reporter. Figure it out. And if these are all true and you have backed by it, then you can continue on. But if they're like pulled out of context, you're in trouble.
Yeah, man, you said it the other day too when we were with we had Buffalo Jet fan on. You're like, dude, this guy Zach Rosenblatt, Jets score 5 straight possessions. He's tweeting out, yeah, they got field goals in 3 of them. Like he clearly is like an anti-Jets guy. Like I actually like Rich Cimini. Rich Cimini is very negative person, but when the Jets are playing well, he'll say nice things, which is rare. And when the Jets are playing poorly, he'll be a little bit too much that way. But he's usually just pretty whatever's going on. Like Zach Rosenblatt, I feel like truly just has some weird thing against the team. And these continuous articles represent that. Like it's never a positive thing. It's never a positive spin. It's always the worst possible scenario, which is just frustrating to read. And then
they get clicks though. They get clicks, so their editors are happy.
Yeah, I guess so. That's what it is. That's the world now. So, but that's why the media in general is garbage.
Just don't DM me. Hey, can I do a full article on Mike Williams and use that for clicks behind a paywall? And then I'm like, hey, why did your story change a couple times? And it's like, oh, nope, unfollow. Not like kind of lame, bro.
Matt, so to your point again, if the Jets try to kick Zach Rosenblatt out of the building, he's gonna cry censorship, whatever. Meanwhile, he's fucking blocking you on Twitter.
Didn't block me, but that's probably coming soon. And I don't care. You can unfollow whoever.
I do care because I think it's the same thing.
But I think it's lame.
We got to try to get him back on the show and just grill him.
But Brian Costello did the same thing where he wrote a whole article, got clicks for the New York Post about the Mike Williams thing, and then a month later made a video about how it's a clown show. It's an embarrassment the Jets did the sandwich thing. It's all right. You can't have it both ways and profit off it. I think it's cool at the time. And then come back and be like, no, it was lame. Fuck the team. Fuck that dumb idiot that has a Twitter account. Kind of a weird move. Mike, live from an Uber for 24 minutes. I'm curious if your Uber driver has any thoughts you can ask him.
I think he's on the phone. I think we're good. I should be pulling up shortly.
I have a vision that you're like in one of those like limos that has the screen there and it just goes down and you turn around and it's Zach Rosenblatt in the front seat and just pulls a...
I would tell him to go fuck himself. I'd call him a liar. I don't like that guy. I would love to have him on. We really should try to get him on.
I want.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know that how we feel. So
I mean, he won't listen to this, and neither would Jets X Factor. Even though we defend the hell out of them, they won't listen to it.
I got into a fight with them again the other day, but I did defend them before. I'm being serious. There's nothing wrong with Woody Johnson reading Jets X Factor.
And you can link their website, and not call it like a random Jets blog. Like you can do it. And Zach Rosenblatt, I'm sure you've used a lot of Jets X Factor articles to build your own. Yep, but again, neither of them will listen to the podcast. Yeah, and in the top corner here, it's sponsored by Jet X Factor.
Yeah.
Everything good there?
With what, X Factor?
No, the beeping in the background.
Oh, okay. We're in I'm somewhere in Midtown. If anyone's in Midtown, come sing some karaoke.
What's your go-to song? What are you starting with?
I think I'm gonna sing some Some secondhand serenade tonight. Fall for
There you go.
Get
There you
get my
go.
email. Get a little email out there.
Sing Tomorrow's Today. Billy Joel. Cold Spring
Then-
Harbor.
Then I'm gonna
1974.
be on
Is
suicide
that the left
watch.
side? I'm sorry.
Excuse me, sir.
You know the left side, right?
I have no idea. I'll go down on the left. That works. So I don't get run over. All right. Thank you,
you so
boss.
much.
I appreciate it.
Careful on the right side.
Have a
Stay
great
on
night.
the
I'll
video
go
in
up this
case you
way.
do get run over. It'd be very
Oh, let's see if there's any bikers out here.
get a lot of views.
Oh man, that would be a good video. Yeah. Podcaster gets
Jet's
murdered.
Twitter account, NYJ Mike murdered on live YouTube.
Oh, now look, I'm in the New York City.
Give the view. Oh, look at the Empire State Building in the background. Let me. Wrong way.
Oh, there she is.
Look at that. Come on now. Come on. All right.
Fuck Diana Rossini.
All right.
All right, homie. Jet up.
Have a good night, buddy.
All right.